Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you just bought the Sage and Ivory wedding planner by the Mode Studio, or you're just checking it out before you buy, so this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through the entire planner from scratch, step by step. When you will order your wedding planner from the Mode Studio, you would find 3 attached files. One of them will be containing Google Sheets link, one of them would be for Excel, and there would be a PDF containing the instructions to how to use wedding planner. Before we dive in, let me quickly show you what you are working with. This planner has 12 tabs covering literally everything for your wedding. This planner has your guests, your seating plan, your budget, the vendor comparisons, venue comparisons, and it's all in here, and everything is connected. Real quick, before we touch anything, let me talk about where this planner works, because this is important. This planner is designed for Google Sheets and the latest versions of Microsoft Excel. So if you're using an older versions of Excel, you might face some difficulties. So it is recommended to use latest versions of Excel. But if you don't have the latest versions of Excel, you can just use Google Sheets. It is completely free. You don't need to install anything, you just need a Google account. Okay, let's dive in. I'm using Google Sheets for this tutorial, so let's go. Okay, very important rule about this planner is that only white cells are the input cells. So you would write only in the white cells, and if any cell is colored, don't just write anything there, because those cells are protected, and maybe if you try to edit them, the wedding planner starts acting abnormally, because we have attached many formulas in these colored cells. For example, in the setup tab, you can see that attending and venue are the colored cells. So if I just try to edit this cell and write anything here and just press enter, you would see a warning pops up. So just cancel it, and I would recommend to not to edit these until you know the formulas very well. First of all, we have this setup tab. Everything else in the planner pulls from what you enter here. First of all, we can write here the bride's name. For example, I say Aisha, and in groom's name, suppose I write Muhammad. The wedding date is, for example, we set to 30th of June 2026, and the currency is dollar. You can set here your wedding location. These all details will be seen in the dashboard tab here. For example, the wedding day is June 30, and 26 days to go until your wedding day. And here is a small calendar which shows the month of your wedding, and on the date of your wedding it would show a small red heart like this, the 30th of June. But for example, if I just change it to maybe 27th of June, and now you would see that the red heart is being shown on the 27th June. Next we have this section. This is mainly linked to your guest list tab, your guest list tab, which is for RSVP status, guest accommodation, meal options, and dietary restrictions. And these guest tags will also be shown in drop downs in your guest list tabs here, which we will see in a moment. These are the expense categories which will be shown in as a drop down in budget tab. Okay, next we have table names, so you can name up to 18 tables here. I have written here table 1, 2, 3, and so on. This will be shown in the seating plan. Here you can see that on the top of each table you can see the name table 1, table 2. You can customize your table names according to your needs. Okay, I think this is left. Person in charge. These names will be shown as a drop down when you will be assigning different tasks to different persons. And here you can write down your notes. Okay, next we have guest list and seating plan tabs. The guest list tab is where you will probably spend a lot of your time, especially in the early stages of your planning. So each row is one invitation. So just for example, we enter some data here. For example, I write Isa here, and she's a family member. She's local, and you can write the contact and email details, which are absolutely optional. And then we have a meal choice, which we can say that chicken, and then she don't have any dietary restriction, and we have sent an invitation to her, total invited one, and the RSVP status is that she is attending the wedding. Okay, now remember one thing, that this RSVP status is very important to fill out, because only those guests will appear in the seating plan for whom you would have selected attending RSVP. Now you can see that I have just entered here Isa, and now you will see her name in unassigned guests here. Okay, on the left side of this tab you can see some summaries. For example, the total invited, which means the total guests that are invited, which is the sum of this column. For example, for Fahad's family we have invited 5 family members, so it would be summed up in total invited. Total attending means the guests who are attending your wedding. Then RSVP summary, which is 51 people are attending and 4 people are not attending. Then we have meal choice, which is that 19 people are preferring chicken, 18 people are preferring beef, and 18 people are preferring veg. Okay, next we have dietary restriction, which is 24 people don't have any dietary restriction, and so on. So this is a summary of your guests. Okay, next we have seating plan. Okay, on the left side of this tab you would see the name of guests who are unassigned. Like I have assigned different people on different tables, and the guests who are not assigned to any table, their names would show in this list. For example, I just write here Dima, and you would see that Dima has just disappeared from this list. Okay, so you can assign your guests for up to 18 tables, and you can name them in the setup tab. And for example, if you accidentally assign the same guests twice, for example, maybe I just put here Zion, and you would see that it is highlighted in red, so that you know that he has been assigned twice. Okay, for example, I write here Bilal, and you would just see that Bilal is highlighted in red color. Okay. Okay, this top section shows the summary about your guest, which means that 46 people are attending your wedding, among whom 45 people are seated and only one guest is remaining. Moving forward to the next tab, which is the budget tab. So in the left section you would see the contributor's name for your wedding. I would just write here groom, and he is contributing to $13,000, and you would see that your total budget has been changed to $48,000. This top section shows some important information about your budget and your spendings. Okay, when you would scroll down, you would see tables for expense categories and vendors. Here you can set up your budget for your expenses and your vendors. For example, I just write here groom's attire, and I set budget for maybe $2,000. Scroll down, and you would see the expense tracker. For example, on 1st of June, I paid $2,000 for groom's attire, and now moving upward, you would see that we have paid $2,000, and there is no pending amount for the groom's attire. Similarly, we have a vendor section. Here you would see the contract prices for different vendors. For example, for transportation we have a bill of 9,000, and we would see that we have paid 5,000 amount and 4,000 is pending. So for example, today okay um, I paid 4,000, and remember to tick this checkbox. And now you would see that we have paid this amount. And here in this section you would also see that we have paid $10,900, and in expense categories we have paid $4,400. Okay, you would see that this chart would update automatically. For example, I just increase the rate of decorist from 1,200 to 12,000, maybe 5,000, and this chart has instantly changed. Okay, let's look at the vendor comparison tab. Before you book your florist, your catering, your venue, or anything, use this tab to compare your options side by side. The first table is specified for the venue comparison, and for the following you can select your vendor options from this drop down. For example, I just change catering from to florist, and it will auto be changed. Okay, for each vendors you can compare up to 8 options, and at the end you can just tick this checkbox to know that for which vendors you're going. For example, I'm going with uh, Kiss the Cook Catering, and you can enter their information here. For example, name, contact, email, website, link, amount, and notes. Okay, but if you are new to Google Sheets and you don't know how to insert the link, let me just show you. For example, I just write here link. Okay, right click the cell, and you would see insert link option here, and just click it, paste your link here, and just apply. Okay, now you would find it as a clickable link. Next, you have venue comparison tab. The venue comparison tab works similarly, but it is specifically for venues. So you can compare up to 5 venues here with their capacity, contract price, cost breakdown, and their restrictions all in one place. For each venue, you can insert your images in this cell. For example, in this cell. And if you don't know how to insert this cell, just in the upper menu section you would see the insert option here. Go to image, insert image in cell, and you can browse and upload any image from your local device. Okay, you would see the contract email address and website for each venue option is grayed and colored cells. This means that, for example, if you choose the Pearl Hotel, it will instantly change its details and the amount contract price to 45,000. So let's just put it back to Stanley Park Pavilion. Because you are comparing your venues, so you can break down your venue costs here and just write the name of your venue cost here. For example, I just write here chairs and put its cost here, which is $500. Okay, now you would see the total is changed. You can add your restrictions here and just tick the checkbox, and here in this section you can write your notes. Next we have timeline. The timeline tab is your wedding planning to-do list organized into 6 planning phases, which is ranging from 12 plus months before wedding to your wedding day. Okay, so for each phase you can have a list of tasks, and you can assign the person which is in charge. And for example, I say research venues, and the person responsible is maybe Mary. And if that task is done, just tick this checkbox. You will see that this percentage and this progress bar has instantly changed. Similarly, in the dashboard tab, in this section, in the dashboard, and you can see the number of tasks that are remaining. For example, for the wedding day 2 tasks are remaining, and for the wedding week 4 tasks are pending. For the wedding day you can note the time here. For example, I just say 9 a.m. for the task of photographer arrives. Okay, next we have wedding day itinerary. A wedding day itinerary is your minute by minute plan for the big day. You can plan up to thousands of tasks for this day. And for example, I just write here 1 a.m. The couple would have a dinner. And if it is done, you can just simply tick the checkbox. And if there are any notes, you can write in this column. Okay, moving to the packing list tab. The packing list tab is divided into 4 sections: the wedding week, wedding day, honeymoon, and others. So, add each item you need to pack, how many you need, who is in charge of packing it, and a checkbox when it is done. And your progress feeds back into this dashboard tab in this chart here, which shows that for the wedding week, you have 6 items which are packed and 3 items are unpacked. And for the honeymoon, you have 5 items that are unpacked while 14 items are packed. Okay, next we have gifts and thank you tracker. So the gift and thank you tracker is one of those tabs you will use after the wedding, or you can start filling it as engagement gifts come into. For each gift, log the name of the giver name. For example, I just write here Maria, and the event was a wedding, and she gave us cash of around $500. You can write the gift description in this box as well. And if you have sent thank you to Maria, you can just tick this checkbox. If I go back to the dashboard tab, in the bottom of this dashboard tab, you would see that we have received 2 gifts and 2300 cash as a gift, and 71% were cash while 28% were gifts. And we have sent thank you to 57% people, while we have not sent thank you to 42% people. Then we have music list tab, which is exactly what it sounds like, a list of songs organized by moment. You can share this list as well with your DJ so that he knows that which song is to be played on which moment of your wedding. Let's move to the dashboard tab again. On the top of this section, you would see the name of bride and the groom. This is a summary of guests, which is we have invited 55 people and 46 of them are attending. We have one guest which is not assigned to any table. Similarly, these two charts are related to the guest list, which shows that 32% guests are from groom side, 30% from family, 21% are from colleagues, and 14% are your friends. Similarly, the RSVP status breakdown, which shows that 83% people are going to attend your wedding. You can add your any favorite picture by using just the insert option. This section is about the wedding budget, which is $48,000, and 68% of that budget is left to spend. This is a progress bar, and here you can see that $32,700 are left to spend, while $39,600 are left to budget. Okay, while this chart shows the vendor contract price, which shows that most of your payment is going to transportation, and this is the summary of to-do list, and this is again the summary from the gift and thank you tracker. If you have any question, that drop them in the comments below, and I hope your wedding planning journey is as beautiful as your big day is going to be. So good luck and congratulations.